He's a really bad one. This is how Charlie responded to an actual racist.
I want to ask a question of you. What does it mean to be an American? Is it an idea or a history, a shared history, or is it a skin color?
Well, I mean, you could go back to the original founding fathers, the Immigration Act of, I believe it was.
What does it mean to be an American? Is it a skin color or something else?
So there's the current idea of what it means according to.
Now, watch what this dude says here in a second, and you're going to see why Charlie does this.
But if you go back to the original founding fathers, they intended this to be a European nation for white men of good stock and character.
So that, but like you said, that's an actual racist.
White men of good stock.
That's an actual racist. Now, watch how Charlie responds.
So, can you show me? Let me answer the question. Can you show me where in the United States Constitution it says that?
It wasn't in the Constitution.
It wasn't in the Constitution because they didn't believe it.
Sir, explicitly clear.
What does the phrase "e pluribus unum" mean? What does the phrase "e pluribus unum" mean?
Why is that relevant?
Because it was on every founding document and presidential seal from our founding, which means out of many, one.
Come on.
You, sir, and your ideology is not conservative. It is right-wing, identitarian, and has no place in the conservative movement, my friend. Get out of line. Get out of line.
Oh my gosh. That's right.
That's an ending.
What a lion. Yeah. Let's say you're a Christian, you're like, okay, I don't agree with the DEI thing. But why did Charlie have to go after it so much? It's just uncomfortable. Why do you have to do that? You can really hear his heart for his why in this clip.
You will never be the best version of yourself if you allow other people to convince you that you can't be better because of your skin color, because of your sexual identity, because of the community you came from. You must resist those narratives at all costs if you truly want to be successful in America.
But why did Charlie... Oh my gosh. That's right.
That's an ending. That's an ending.
What a lion. Yeah. Let's say you're a Christian, you're like, okay, I don't agree with the DEI thing. But why did Charlie have to go after it so much? It's just uncomfortable. Why do you have to do that? You can really hear his heart for his why in this clip.
You will never be the best version of yourself if you allow other people to convince you that you can't be better because of your skin color, because of your sexual identity, because of the community you came from. You must resist those narratives at all costs if you truly want to be successful in America.
Amen.
Amen.
It wasn't in the Constitution.
I'd like to draw your attention to the person that's holding the microphone. The shirt is called Culture War, and that is one of the tours, or I would say events, headings or headlines, or purpose tour or purpose debate or purpose gathering. The topics was around culture, so Culture War. One of his earlier event causes was culture wars, so wars of the culture. Some old school footage that's coming out, and I'm quite happy that they're coming out. I'm gonna play it again for those in the back that might have been uncomfortable in seeing who this man was, instead of you regurgitating song bites that the progressive liberals would want you to digest.
Man, if he's a racist, he's a really bad one. This is how Charlie responded to an actual racist.
I want to ask a question of you. What does it mean to be an American? Is it an idea or a history, a shared history, or is it a skin color?
Well, I mean, you could go back to the original founding fathers, the Immigration Act of, I believe it was.
What does it mean to be an American? Is it a skin color or something else?
So there's the current idea of what it means according to.
Now, watch what this dude says here in a second, and you're going to see why Charlie does this.
But if you go back to the original founding fathers, they intended this to be a European nation for white men of good stock and character.
So that, but let me say, that's an actual racist.
White men of good stock.
That's an actual racist. Now, watch how Charlie responds.
So, can you show me? Let me answer the question. Can you show me where in the United States Constitution it says that?
It wasn't in the Constitution.
It wasn't in the Constitution because they didn't believe it.
The founders
Sir,
explicitly clear.
What does the phrase "e pluribus unum" mean? What does the phrase "e pluribus unum" mean?
Why is that relevant?
Because it was on every founding
No, the
document
founding
and
fathers
presidential
wrote
seal from our
many
founding,
documents
which means
stating
out
they
of
believe
many
countries should
one.
be
Come on.
You, sir,
European
and your ideology is not conservative. It is right-wing, identitarian, and has no place in the conservative movement, my friend. Get out of line! Get out of line!
Oh my
ending, though.
gosh. That's right. Clap
That's an
him off.
ending. That's an ending.
What a lion.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a Christian, you're like, okay, I don't agree with the DEI thing. But why did Charlie have to go after it so much? It's just uncomfortable. Why do you have to do that? You can really hear his heart for his why in this clip.
You will never be the best version of yourself if you allow other people to convince you that you can't be better because of your skin color, because of your sexual identity, because of the community you came from. You must resist those narratives at all costs if you truly want to be successful in America.
And that's why they don't want you to be successful in America, because they push these things, and it's here in Canada. And I have been speaking out about it for a very long time. Many of you want to know why I'm not, what's my response to what's happening. If you haven't figured me out by now with my content so far, I don't know why you would not think that I would have a view that the narratives of Charlie Kirk has been hogwash. But many of you are needing to hear, as if content that I have made and from other people, we are extremely exhausted and tired of you always needing us to prove. I don't know how much more many of us, like myself, have to prove. And we're tired because we're just living our lives, and you guys got to figure out who your allies are and who your enemies are. And always waiting to see and to see and to see. We're done. We're done. And I am exhausted for Candace Owens. I don't know how it's like, and I had my enough fill, my enough cup. 2020, 2021, 2022. I saw here north of the border how ridiculous you are. Your freedom movement, freedom convoys, and resistance, this and all, Canada first. And I'm watching all of y'all that's now coming out now, and you're, whatever. And you guys, many of you are like that guy that Charlie had to tell him, get out of the line. 2020 did not have to go down the way it did, but it's many of you like him that made this nonsense stretch out. And unfortunately, Charlie Kirk had to be out there literally fighting two battles. Charlie Kirk had to fight the battle within his own movement, his own community, with people like this guy who have a conservative membership.
I don't agree with the DEI thing.
And let me pull it, but let me get his
Of
picture.
many, one.
Come on.
You, sir, and your ideology is not conservative. It is right-wing, identitarian, and has no place in the conservative movement, my friend. Get out of line. Get out of line.
He had to fight you all inside. Many of y'all in the MAGA South and all of you here north of the border too, that he knows exactly why you're in it. And you're in it not for the right reasons. But what he speaks about, you benefit from, but you're really not standing on the same principles of Charlie Kirk. But you benefit from the fight that he's fighting because at the end of the day, you see that you're winning. But the reason why he's fighting against DEI is not the reason why many of you are. And it's just, here north of the border, many of you were cheering the conservatives and Bolivia and all that. And it wasn't for the reasons that is really about uniting Canada, uniting Canadians, fighting for the middle class. It's many of you Canadian content creators that was pushing, and this is why he didn't win. And you can blame media, blame all that. Yes. And for the content creator pages, all of you Canadian content creator pages, TikTok, YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, the energy behind your why was not like Charlie Kirk's. That is why Charlie Kirk's turning point was so powerful, not with just the European men and the European women and the European teenagers and Charlie Kirk's turning point literally turned the needle on every demographic. That is why Donald Trump cleaned it up. And him and JD Vance and everyone else have come out and told you this man was their silent weapon. They talked about Trump's youngest son who told him to go on Joe Rogan's podcast and all that. But in addition to that, I'm sure his son was already a part of Charlie Kirk's. I'm sure Charlie Kirk was instrumental in Donald Trump's youngest son, I believe his name is Barron. Many of us here north of the border, and I'm sure south of the border, did not know how instrumental this young man was for the Trump campaign. He was a serious silent weapon, but very much a very known public silent weapon. How can both be true? But I'm telling you, it makes sense why he was assassinated. Because if he turns, they know he was the piper. He was the piper. If this young man, whatever comes out of this young man's mouth, because he's great at articulating the point and making young people see. They say you have to see it to see it. I have an elder that says that all the time. You have to see it to see it. Charlie Kirk had a way to make you visually see it by the way he is verbally speaking. He did not have to visually make diagrams and illustrations. He was so great articulating his words that he made you visually see. That's why every one of those young people that stood up on the mic when he talks is as if they're visually seeing his words paint a picture, and that is why they had so many aha moments. Because while he's speaking, they were really engaged. They were really connected to the conversation. And as he responded to them, or he might even ask them rhetorical questions, he might ask them thought-provoking questions. He painted a picture for them. They visually saw the point he was getting. And that is why many had their own personal turning point. In Canada, the conservative movement, regardless of what Donald Trump had said or did, you north of the border, you lost. And I'm telling you, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm letting you know, you will lose again. Because your why and why you're pushing so hard against so many things that make sense. And many people, regardless of race, gender, religion, they would say, yeah, what you're saying makes sense. But you know why it's not resonating? Because they sense and they know that your why is not as altruistic as you may want to put it. It's really not from a place of fairness for Canadians in Canada and wanting and really want Canada to be the best for Canadians and people who are here invested and put so much time and effort, sweat, tears. They know it's not that. They know it's not from that place and that space. That is why the Canada First rally and all of that, it had the response. It did not have the big turnout that you would, because people know it's not from the place that they want to say yes to, because they know that where you're coming from, eventually it's going to blow up in their face. So they're like, I'm not going to support something that's going to blow up in my face, because really and truly, it's really not about what you say it is. So just like this young man in the line who was conservative, and his ideologies and his true racism benefits from Charlie Kirk's campaign and the things that he's saying. Charlie was very gifted at making sure that you know that you and him are not on the same page. You may benefit from me pushing back at things or me speaking against things. I'm making it very clear that your why and my why are different. And that's why they didn't really like Charlie Kirk, because in him being successful at the thing that they want him to be successful at, the outcome is not really what they are wanting. See, the outcome is to not have people have crutches on statements, feelings, emotions, banner statements that really oppresses them, but they think it's freeing them. He knows that these things are oppressing them and they're coming disguised as to free them. So he wants to get rid of these things that is holding back the unity of the people to make the nation really prosperous. Really wanting to, it's like, you really want to have a place that truly has a moral compass, truly have elected people with ethics. Like, you really truly want that. But you see, getting rid of these ideologies that I share very much with Charlie, I know, and he knows, that getting rid of it and making the benefit of getting rid of it come to fruition, we both know that there's a lot of you who want to have the ideologies demolished, and you still don't want and you don't want what Charlie is saying and what I have been passionate about to occur. You truly don't want equality across the board. You truly don't want everybody's children really having an equal shot, an equal opportunity to a quality of life across board, just keeping it even. making sure that every child is at the starting line with no deficiencies, no minuses. Everybody is coming to school prepared and ready to learn. Nobody's stomach is growling, nobody's head is hurting, nobody has all these micro or every child is coming to school truly ready to learn and with the capacity to truly focus on what is being taught. And in an environment that what is being taught is not being taught to brainwash, to demonize, to divide, and create conflict within cultures. We're sticking to science, technology, engineering, and math. And if you want languages, if you want arts, you want sports, we're teaching. It is really a place of higher learning. It's not a place of indoctrination or creating another slave population. See, getting rid of all these ideologies truly at the root of it is to create equality, is to create and bring back a moral compass in the land, is to truly bring back ethical leadership, integrity in all industries. So many of you north of the border and south of the border want to benefit from getting rid of ideologies, constructs, but it's not for the same reason that Charlie Kirk, people like myself, and many others, our whys are different than your whys. And that is why, as much as conservatives north of the border and south of the border think that the next election might not be, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting because I know they're going to try their best to keep the Charlie Kirk's momentum going for the Conservative Party, but they've lost a lot. The trust factor is gone as a result of how they're handling his assassination. If Charlie Kirk was truly valued, and I mean truly valued and truly loved, I should say, and truly appreciated, and everything we heard from those that want us to believe how much this has ripped their life upside down, they would be leaving no stone unturned. They would be diligently finding everyone connected to this. They are looking as if this was their own son, their own husband, their own brother, their own best friend. That's what I'm saying. As y'all can hate Candace all you want, but we all need a best friend like Candace. You have one person in your corner like Candace Owens as a best friend, you're golden. Oh my God, are you golden? You have a best friend like Candace Owens. You have someone in your corner who is gonna have your back in death like Candace Owens. Could you imagine how they would in life? Man, you good. You don't need 5-7, a whole crew, a whole tribe, a whole pack. You just need one. You just need one friend like Candace. You're good for a life. Like, you're good. You, your children, and your children's children are good. With a friend like Candace, shoot. You don't care about enemies, yo. You don't care about enemies. You got a friend like Candace. Forget that. You're good. And you be a friend to your friend like Candace. See, we all want it one way. Are you like that for your friend? If you have a mutual friendship like that, and I believe Charlie was like that for Candace, that is why they could not separate them. As much as people are trying now to paint a narrative, she's bringing receipts, like, don't even try it. We were good. And you know, people's like, oh, they haven't talked. You know, you have a best friend, a best friend. You might not talk for a year, months. But when you hook up, it's as if nothing has changed. And just, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, you just got to pick up the phone call. It doesn't matter how long you have not spoken to that person. You know, that is your, you know, that person has your back. They just need to hear your voice. And it's like, what? It doesn't matter how long it has been. So these people don't understand that level of friendship, that type of friendship. But for many of those that want to say, oh, they haven't been talking since 2015, whatever, she's like, I was just on tour with him last year. What are you talking about? She's showing you texts. Listen. And I know part of Candace that she's doing this because she has to prove her point, because this is bigger. Because if they can disqualify her on merit that, oh, they haven't been talking, then they also want you to tune your ears off from what she's saying. So she constantly have to make sure your ears stay opened and attuned to her by having to squash all this, because they bring up all this to kind of, and she has to bat it away, bat that away. She's like, no, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, listen to me. She is doing the most for her friend. And trust me, if Charlie Kirk never knew how much of a friend Candace is, in death, we have many different theology about death. If the theology that believes that after life, the person in death can still hear, see what's going on, can still be attuned to what's happening. If Charlie is truly, quote unquote, looking down and seeing all what's happening, his heart is crying, his heart is aching, his heart is numb at the reality of him seeing how much Candace was a true friend. He is taken back with all that's happening. Every time he looks at Candace, every time he's watching how she reacted from the time she heard of his assassination to how she is on top of things, Charlie Kirk looking down, he's dumbfounded. He's dumbfounded. It's like, yes, he could be less smiling, cheering, yeah, but there's a part of him that is just like, wow.
Oh my God.
Wow. There's a part of him that is like, wow, Candace was a real one. And you know, when you could sit in it and realize, I knew it, but I never knew it. If I had known that this is how she truly values our friendship in death, she's going against everybody to find justice for me. Charlie's like, man, I would have made you co-CEO. I would have made sure you are, man, I want to do my will over. I want to do so much things over now, afterlife, seeing how Candace is stepping up. I'm sure Charlie is just wish, coulda, shoulda, woulda. The coulda, shoulda, woulda. But it's too late. Candace is going to be okay. Regardless of her denominational affiliation to whatever, the essence of who that woman is, her character, Candace is going to be okay. No matter what weapon is trying to form against her, what kind of plots are trying to thwart her marriage, her business, her finances, just her life, it's not going to prosper. Because you see good like that, good like that has a protection. Good like that has a protection. It really does. Like Candace is like this, the way this woman is showing up, this is character that is rare to find. Very, very rare to find. When someone says, I have your back, yeah, it's, and risking life. I mean, risking your life, your family, your fortune, your business. She's going for broke. And the fact that she has a husband that supports her, because she says, I'm only going to stop when my husband or Charlie Kirk's wife tells me to stop. So her husband supports how she's standing 10 toes down for her friend. He's seeing a level of character in his wife that's making him look at her in a different way. He knows that she's loyal. He knows that she's ethical. But it's like to see her like this. Oh, I'm sure, I'm positive that her husband is watching her in a different way of respect and is seeing a side of Candace that only this type of event could reveal. Like for you to see a person, like to really see a person, you can't get that type of loyalty. That is rare. And if she's like that for a best friend, don't even come after her husband. What? Or her children. Like that man knows that his heart is safe. That man knows that he and his children are safe. He has a wife who's the mother of his children. He knows, my God, I hit the jackpot. So I am lots of respect for Candace Owens. We are not agreeing on many things. And what I see in her through this, I'm seeing her character as a person that when she says she's your friend, loyalty is true for her. It's not just a nice statement. No, it's for real for her. When she says she's your friend, or when she says I got your back, or she's a woman of her word. I was trying to find a way. That's it. Candace Owens is truly a woman of her word. She says what she means. She means she says. When she says she's your friend, when she says that she has your back, she does. And she believes that in